holiness. I think we might get it twisted. Holiness is keeping oneself from wickedness. It is keeping oneself from temptation. It is keeping oneself from impurity. But it is not to cease existing. We can't cease to exist. But we must cease to sin. Everybody stumbles, everybody falls short, everybody finds himself in a place of repentance. If we can remain in a place of repentance, we won't have to try to find it when we fall, because we'll be mindful of that place before we ever come to a place where we may stumble. We can't cease to exist. We can't cease to live. The day and age that we are in, I can't not go to work. I can't not go to places I prefer not to. If I could stay home all the time with my wife and kids, I would. If my life consisted of being at home with my family and fellowshipping with a brotherhood of saints, and that was all I had to do, that was all I would do. But how are we going to go forth into the nations? Behold, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Where is the kingdom of heaven? It is within you. What did he tell Pharisees? You wash the outside of the cup, but the inside of the cup is what is a tomb. It's death. It's a grave. I was just listening to a little snippet of a book, and it said the tent of meeting on the outside looked like all the other tents. You wouldn't have known it was special until you went inside. Because that's where the presence dwelled. That's where the Lord was. We are going to look on the outside like the rest of the world's going to look. But what matters most is what's on the inside. Because even the Lord said it's what goes into the body that defiles man, not what comes forth from it. So if we let wickedness into us, if we let darkness into us, if we give way to temptation and let those kinds of things into us, it'll defile us. But if we keep light within us, if we keep purity of heart within us, if we keep repentance upon our lips, then in faith we will see the kingdom of heaven manifested in our lives. It's not to bury things that your natural humanity desires. It's to focus those things in positive directions in ways that glorify God. For husbands and wives, it's to keep your eye trained on your spouse. It's to keep your mind trained on your spouse. It's to keep your thoughts, your tongue, everything trained on your spouse. Why? Because what you attend to, what you pay attention to, focus on that which is good, then those other things are somewhat insignificant to all the blessings in my life. Listening, same book, it talked about, right before it talked about the tent of meeting, it talks about mountains and capstones. I was talking about rebuilding the temple and Zerubbabel. It said, not by might nor by power, but my spirit, saith the Lord, through the prophet Zechariah. I believe I might have that mixed. But told him to take the mountain out the way, and by his own hand he placed the capstone. What's mountain? Earth. What's capstone? Earth. Where'd you get the capstone from? The mountain. So that mountain that you're facing, the capstone for that situation is within it. But until you tear that mountain down, and by you tearing that mountain down, you surrender to the Lord, you're obedient, you look for Him in those trials, in those tribulations, in those situations, in those hard times, to see what He's doing for His glory within you, so that you can be a more capable vessel, so you can be a more glorious representation of Him, because that's what we're supposed to do, is represent Him. And in the removal of that mountain, He will give you the capstone for that situation. The answer is within the problem. The blessings are within the obedience. The Spirit of God is within the vessel. It's up to us whether or not we choose Him or them. Because anything that's not of Him is the enemy. Anything that's not of Him is against Him. If you're not for me, you're against me. Not all those that say, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven. It's up to us. We have to choose what we're going to do. We have to choose how we're going to move, how we're going to act, how we're going to conduct ourselves. It's up to us. But at the end of the day, if we choose Him in His sovereignty, He will move those mountains. He will carve out those capstones. He will provide all the resources that are necessary for the accomplishment of His purpose. But we have to choose that. He won't force it upon us. We have to choose it. We have to choose Him. And in choosing Him, He will give us all that we need, and we will lack nothing. The choice is yours. The choice is mine. But are those mountains in your life? Are you allowing God to make them molehills? Or are you, in and of yourself,